Okay. All right, so I guess this is our workshop today. We don't have quorum and we are all participating on Zoom because there will be no action taken by the board today. We only have a board of one, Mr. Chair.
That's it.
So I guess, Mary, you can put up the agenda and we'll just go over the discussion points. Okay. So under new business, we have the EO manager's report. And we don't have any active complaints right now, on the internal side, but not on the external side that we're actively investigating. We do have some pending ones that I just share. And one, this came in February. It's employment, and he's claiming retaliation for reporting sexual harassment on behalf of some, I guess, female staff, and that he was retaliated against. And there's been, some back and forth with trying to get the paperwork completed so that we can process the complaint. But I believe every time you've communicated with him, Jill, he indicates that he still wants to pursue the complaint, and he's certainly within timelines. So we'll, see when that happens.
Sorry,
The other one is,
sorry, I just broke up a little bit. So this is it's a claim of retaliation after whistleblower? Is that
after reporting sexual harassment.
Reporting and retaliation? Okay.
Yeah. And it was on behalf of female staff. He was reporting the manager who allegedly sexually harassed female staff.
Okay.
Okay. And the other one is housing termination of lease. That was a sort of complex situation that involved ERAP funds, and that was referred to our Community Support Services Department that's that administered the ERAP funds. And I believe they helped to the extent that they could. And I guess you're waiting on her if she wants to pursue, other, a discrimination end of her complaint. Correct?
Jill's on
mute. You're on mute.
Jill, you're on mute.
Thank you. She sent, we sent her the paperwork, but, and I followed up, and she did indicate that she was going to send our paperwork back to our department. I explained to her the difference in the, department investigations and what they're looking into. But we have not received anything. I need to follow up. I need to call her.
Okay. And the last one is employment, and the basis is disability. She was terminated. But in speaking with her, we discovered that she had also filed on the same, employment matter with the EEOC. But she had given them some of the information, and then she was coming to us with some additional information. So we advised her to contact the EEOC and amend her charge to, give them the full allegations of disability discrimination. So I think that was last week that we advised her to follow up with the EEOC and amend her complaint. So her complaint in our office was administratively closed. So we're just waiting on, the two that are pending to see if they return the paperwork for us to process a complaint. Okay, any questions?
No, sounds good.
Okay. And so next is all about April and Fair Housing Month. You know, we always have the annual proclamation declaring April as Fair Housing Month. Mary, do you have a copy that you can put up of the proclamation? This will be read by the board on April. And as usual, we always ask for committee members to, well, advisory board members to attend if you can.
This
Do you
is
know yet,
April-
Aaron, if you'd be available to receive it?
So April 12th, the agenda said 11:30. The last, do we know it's going to be 11:30 or is it one of those that could be any time?
11:30, the meeting starts, and it
Okay.
starts with morning announcements. Interestingly enough, the morning announcements on Tuesday took a little while. It was quite extensive. Then they always break at 12 for public comments. And then they go back to the agenda. So more than likely, this will be closely after 12, you know, after public comments, unless it's a very light agenda and they're able to get to a couple of proclamations before noon. We'll know when the agenda gets posted or published rather, and we can share that with you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I think I can. It may be tough to book off the entire 11:30 to 2 time slot, but
Yeah.
a little bit more.
I would say 11:30 to 1, somewhere in there. I wouldn't even say 2 because the proclamations are usually very early on the agenda.
11:30 to 1. All right. I should be able to make that work. Yeah.
And we will certainly invite the other members, just send them an email. And when, you know, a copy of the agenda when that's released.
So the reason I'm hesitant to is so on the Monday, the 11th,
Mhm.
I'll go to court on the 11th, and then that'll dictate whether I have court or not on the 12th.
Ah, on the 12th.
So unfortunately, it's going to be that kind of quick before
Mhm.
I anticipate having it open, but that could change at the last minute. This is all I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, staff will always be there, you know, to accept, but it's always nice to have the chair or, you know.
Yeah, and
other
I've done it
members.
before. It's usually
Yeah.
just a 30-second
Mhm.
the board kind of thing.
Yeah,
Sure. Okay. 12th.
okay,
Perfect.
all right. Let's see, back to the agenda, Mary.
There we go. It doesn't seem to go back and forth. I have to stop the share.
Right, you have to stop in between. and go back.
Okay.
The quirks of Zoom.
Make you do it the hard way.
Okay. All right, and on the same meeting for the 12th, we will have the annual Human Rights Board report that we have in draft now that we're working to finalize. And that is usually on the consent agenda. I can't recall it ever really being pulled. So more than likely it will be on the consent agenda, but you know, we will be available if a commissioner wants to ask questions or speak to it. And that item, if you're still there and want to respond to that, or as usual, staff will be there. So for the meeting on the 12th, on the agenda will be the annual report for the board and the proclamation. And once the report is finalized, we will share it with the board members again. So you'll get a copy of the report and the proclamation. That should be available by next week. All right, and then coming up on April 27th is a Fair Housing Community Forum. This is jointly sponsored by the county and the city's Office of Equity and Inclusion. And this is a very general community-wide public education and outreach event on fair housing. And we're targeting landlords, tenants, realtors association, students, veterans, anyone in the housing providers. And the city and county staff will be presenting information on our local fair housing protections. We will also be talking about the new renters' rights ordinances, the one passed by the city, and the county is working on ours. Courtney, ours is still, it's not been adopted yet, correct? I believe ours is still to go back before the board.
Yes, we'll have to go back before the board.
Okay. We will also be focusing on housing protections for victims of domestic violence, for individuals with disabilities, for veterans. So we will be doing the general overview, but also focusing, on certain areas. We will have members from Gainesville Housing Authority and Alachua County Housing Authority talking about their programs and like vouchers for veterans as well. And we will have one of our frequent speakers for Disability Awareness Month. His specialty is actually housing. He's a great speaker on ADA and, mainly on like Title II for government programs, but his area is housing. He's with the Bowley Centers, which is about housing for people with disabilities. So he will be one of the panel members at the Housing Forum on the 27th. And it will be from 2 to 4:30 p.m. on Zoom. So we're trying for the afternoon because we're trying to cast a wider net, than in the morning. So those who might have classes or work or so in the morning, hopefully they'll be able to tune in the afternoon and we can get greater participation that way. And the flyer, I'm meeting with the city tomorrow. We should be finalizing the flyer by tomorrow, Monday. Then that will be shared with the committee members as well. And hopefully you'll all be available to tune in and participate.
That'd be good.
And we will also be doing some promotions online as well. We're working. Do you get Channel 12, the government channel? I don't. You do. Okay. All right. So on Channel 12, we will be running a series of posters from HUD, different types of housing discrimination and protections. We're working on sort of customizing those posters and adding or information to that, and they'll all be in English and Spanish. We'll have that running on Channel 12. We'll have our own postcard with the new amendment that was passed last year regarding lawful source of income, with calculating the rent to income qualifications. You remember that? So
I do. Yep.
Right. We'll be running that on the county's Facebook. So during April, leading up to this event, we will have a series of, ads and information on fair housing.
That's great.
Pretty good campaign for the month of April.
Nice.
All right. Now, any questions from the audience?
I need someone.
Audience of one?
No, I think it sounds great. I'll do my best to make my schedule work. The 2 dates there. For sure.
Okay, all right. Courtney, anything you'd like to add? This meeting has been short and sweet.
I do not have anything I would like to add. I appreciate everyone's indulgence while I don't feel good to have my camera off.
No. Hope you feel better.
Okay, I guess if there isn't anything else, we can adjourn.
Sure. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day. Good seeing you all.
You
Bye.
too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good evening now.
You too. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.